The world of kayfabe. Stories within the wrestling world manifest themselves as true. Stories that include supernatural activity, horrifically tasteless events, and one time, a 77-year-old woman gave birth to a hand. Death, crime, and other powerful circumstances surround the wrestling industry, as told by the wrestling industry on weekly television and pay-per-view events. But how bad are these circumstances? That's where I come in, the purveyor of truth, to find out what is right and what is wrong in kayfabe.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to In Kayfabe. I am here with the SportsBeard. SportsBeard, say what's up to everybody.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for having me, Micah. Appreciate it.
Anytime, my guy. SportsBeard, this is the first time on the channel. This might be your first time to this audience. So tell us about yourself and maybe your journey into wrestling coming back as a recent fan.
Yeah. I grew up watching it as a kid in the 80s, Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant and stuff like that. Those guys were heavy in pop culture. I joined the military in the 90s and did 25 years. But the first few years, I watched a lot of the Attitude Era with Stone Cold versus Vince, stuff like that. Triple H, that stuff. And then I walked away. I just got busy with work. I think at any given time, I deployed several times overseas. And, you get married. I don't have kids, but, you get married, you get busy. You watch other things. So I took a long break from wrestling. I mean, I kind of followed what was going on here and there just to be aware of what was happening. But I didn't come back until SummerSlam last year. And a mutual friend of ours, Ref Marsh, who went to high school with my wife and is from Alaska here where I live originally. And so we've known each other for 15 or so years. And every time I wanted to know something about something, like, what's this Bray Wyatt guy? I would text him and he would just get back to me. And then we were visiting and he said, why don't you come on the Wrestling on the Rock show and let's try you as a regular since you're getting back into wrestling. And I don't know what I actually know exactly why I got back in. 100% of the reason is the Pat McAfee show. I was a big fan of that show. I became a fan of that show. I was a little late to the party on the Pat McAfee show. But this last year, and Pat was doing SmackDown. So I was like, hey, let's give it a try. Let's see how it is. And I was kind of really blown away by the quality of the women's wrestling that I was seeing. I always like story over the in-ring stuff anyway, but I actually enjoy the in-ring stuff, too. Like, I like to see great matches. So yeah, I just was like, let me give it a whirl. And now I've been on the show for, I think, close to 9 months, and, we do it once a week. And I try to bring a different, Ref Marsh is arrogant and thinks he knows fucking everything. And I just try to bring a new perspective. But Kevlar is great. He's the diehard wrestling fan that really got Ref Marsh into it, right? So, and then there's a myriad of other people that come on the show, Bishop and he does with Crybaby Club and Amanda Jane. They kind of cover NXT and AEW. I don't have time to follow all that wrestling because I still am pretty devoted to trying to develop my own channel eventually. And I like to focus on actual hockey and football and stuff like that. So nothing wrong with wrestling. There's plenty of wrestling content creators, by the way. There's no shortage of them. You know this, right? So yep, that's my journey to finding Wrestling on the Rocks, which you can find me every Wednesday, depending on when we can air, which usually just depends on everybody else's availability. So, yeah, because I retired from the military. I currently don't, I'm not doing anything solid. I'm not working actively full time anywhere else other than just building my own brand and channel and stuff. So I'm moving towards having a goal of being on like 9 months of the year. I will take the summers off just because if you live in Alaska, you live in the Northeast, the winters are not fun.
Yeah.
This is a good time to do stuff like this. And then in the summer, you want to be outside and you want to do fun stuff. So
yeah, you'll take a seasonal break.
Yeah, exactly. Just like school, buddy. You got to have that summer vacation, which was the greatest time when you were a kid growing up, right? Like, so yeah. So that's my journey. Do you have anything else or?
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Sunny D? That's a popular channel question.
Sunny D, like the drink?
Yeah, this drink.
I have nothing against Sunny D.
Nothing. So nothing for it, nothing against it.
I can't tell you the last time I had a Sunny Delight, but I don't hate it or anything. If somebody said, "Hey, do you want a Sunny Delight?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure. Why not?" I don't. Yeah, I drink a lot of water. So
I mean, yeah.
No, I mean, I love. Is that a staple for the?
That is a staple. Along with this next one, do you think OJ did it?
You know what? When I was a kid, I did not.
Ooh.
I never thought he did because there was a rumor mill that there was an old lady that saw two men dressed in because you never kill anybody with a knife for your first kill, right? Like like if you worked in, I was in the military for 25 years. I always have to explain to people, they actually train us to kill people. We're not shooting those paper targets are supposed to be people, right? Like you hope you never have to do it. I fortunately didn't have to kill anybody. I'm taking a friend out tonight to dinner, Larry Apolite, Vietnam veteran, 147 confirmed kills. He was in Vietnam. They shot at people. So that's how it goes. War is not fun, as we see on the TV every day playing out. But then I watched the ESPN documentary. I think it was 5 parts. If you watch that, you can't believe he did it. You can't believe he's innocent. He's 100% guilty. He got away with murder because he got good lawyers, and they were able to break down the DNA evidence that proved he was there. There was so much overwhelming evidence that he did it. And then like he said, like the route he took back from the house. I mean, he did it. He did, he didn't plan it, but he didn't plan it very well. And it's just really unfortunate. I don't think he thought Ron Goldman was going to be there. It's an awful thing, but yeah, he probably killed his wife.
Probably.
Allegedly. Yeah. Well, I mean, he did get convicted in a civil trial for being responsible for her death. So
wrongful death lawsuit.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, usually that's, you don't have to, in a criminal trial, there has to be reasonable doubt, right? And there proved that there was reasonable doubt, or at least their lawyers thought they did. And, hey, I don't know. Did you ever watch The Jinx on HBO about that Robert Durst guy? It was like a really rich guy. He murdered his first wife. Then he murdered like some dude in Texas. And then he murdered a friend in California. They finally convicted that guy of murder. But he got off. Like he wasn't even ever tried for his wife's murder. They never even found her body. It was like in the 60s or 70s. And this guy in Texas that he murdered, this wealthy guy was living at this crap hole, like condominium thing, really kind of a different cat, this guy. He went to trial, and I want to say that the lawyer was for Deshaun Watson, he got him off in self-defense when he probably shot and killed the guy. And then this lady that helped him, I think, cover up the crime of his wife back in the day, he murdered her. And how they tracked it was he flew into California, drove down. I think he shot her in the back of the head with a silenced pistol, and like nothing happened. And he was convicted. He died, though. I don't think he spent very much time in jail, and then he died because he was that old. So yeah.
Never heard of that one.
Dude, it's called The Jinx, Jinx, like the G.I. Joe character. Watch it if you have access to HBO Max. If you have AT&T, you get it for free, like cellular phone. So, or if you have a friend that has it, just be like, hey, let me, pretty interesting. Yeah. So, yeah, go ahead, man. What else we got?
Well, that's it for this. Let's travel into the past.
Okay.
All right, everybody, welcome to the past, where we have chosen the very fruitful topic of Mr. McMahon. This is a very wide array of things that Mr. McMahon has done, but we're going to focus on two aspects. We're going to focus on assault, and we're going to talk about workplace stuff. So on the 15th of May, 1998, Mr. McMahon on Monday Night Raw assaults Stone Cold Steve Austin and admits it on live television.
It felt so good when I had that steel chair in my hand and it struck Austin squarely in the back.
And then he is promptly arrested. And then nothing comes of it. Can you believe it, SportsBeard?
Well, obviously, Vince paid off the police,
which is another crime in itself.
Yeah, he used his wealth and influence. Do you remember the state it occurred?
The state in which it occurred was horrible. It's a decrepit state. Let me find that out right now.
I was wondering if it was Connecticut where he lives.
Ooh. Or like, Texas where Stone Cold lives.
Or Madison Square Garden. Yeah, but I would think it'd be much harder to pay off the police in Texas for assaulting a Texan, especially if you're a Yankee. You know, they
well, I was right, because it happened at the Freeman Coliseum in San Antonio, Texas.
Oh, well, there you go. But you know what? I think that's West Texas, and Stone Cold's from East Texas. He's from, so the one thing you'll find about the South is they're very geographically divided. They don't like the people from the North. And I deployed to Kosovo with some guys in the military from Tennessee, a good group of guys from Tennessee. And the Tennessee is the size of a postage stamp, right? Compared to the state I live in. East Tennessee doesn't like West Tennessee. I was like, okay. Like it's like an hour to drive across your state. I mean, I know it's more than that, but it's just funny. So maybe that was what it is. Vince used the hatred of East Texas by West Texas to pay off the police and or DA. You think I could donate to the policeman's ball?
That's true. Maybe there was maybe he had some strings to pull for the local fire department versus police department hockey game.
Yeah. I don't know if they play hockey for the Guns and Hoses, like the fire department versus the police. I don't know if they do that like they do where you're from and where I'm from in Texas, but maybe so.
It's a possibility. It's a big thing from where I'm from. So
it's big here too, man. They have it here too.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it's a lot snowier here than it is down in Texas most of the year.
Yeah. I think though hockey's coming around everywhere, so
that's true. Hockey's
crazy. I mean, maybe they have a Guns and Hoses basketball thing down in Texas.
That's true. Or football, like touch football.
I think Texas
football is huge in football.
Yeah, I think Texas is known for their football. In fact, it's widely considered if you do anything on a Friday night to interfere with the high school football games, they get kind of mad. Like they don't want so if you ever go work in Texas, like Friday nights are off limits.
Yeah, if you've ever seen Friday Night Tykes, they take junior stuff very seriously.
Yeah, I have not seen that, but I did watch Friday Night Lights.
Yeah. I have not seen that, but Friday Night Tykes is a reality show about youth football in Texas, and by first episode, you're like, I'm not sure you should be yelling at kids that way. And by the end of season 2, you're just like, Braden, get the hell up. Like, you're on the coach's side. You're so indoctrinated by the football. Yeah. That's a power of Texas. And maybe Mr. McMahon was just feeling it that night when he assaulted Mr. Austin.
Well, and, he's a billionaire. And he was in 98, I'm going to guess. We're in 98 currently. I mean, he's a millionaire.
Right.
I think it's probably not hard to use your wealth and influence to get out of assault charges.
That's
Even though
true.
you're not on live TV admitting that you assaulted them. So being
That's
wealthy has privileges. Most of the time, rich people get away with doing bad stuff.
Fast forwarding to December 28th, 2015, we head to the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York, where Mr. McMahon assaults a law enforcement officer. It's a security guard, but he calls himself law enforcement. So
yeah. Was he dressed like law enforcement?
he was not dressed like law enforcement.
So he looked like Barclays security.
Yes, but he said that he was not. He was the McMahon's personal security people, and then promptly arrested Mr. McMahon. This is where the famous mugshot.
Oh, right. Oh man, they should have done a better job of doing the storyline there, because I think they actually do have police that work those events, right?
Yes.
If you've ever been to a big wrestling event, I can't imagine it's any different than like going to a hockey game or anything, but we always have police there.
Especially at a big arena like the Barclays Center.
Maybe it was a conflict of interest for the police to get involved, but kind of interesting there, because if it's a private security firm, I don't know how it could be classified as law enforcement. And then did they falsely imprison Mr. McMahon and take the mugshots? Very interesting with this one.
That's interesting. Maybe. I mean, it's still assault if you like rough up somebody up. He didn't really rough him up. He grabbed him by the collar. So it's not like really assault.
Well, what I was gonna say is, I think you have to prove malicious intent or intent to injure, and maybe the district attorney just said this isn't worth trying.
That's fair, but you can see repeatedly on national television Mr. McMahon's intent to do a lot of nefarious, malicious things. So
yeah, no, I get yeah. I know he seems like a terrible person. I would I just don't know. I think that the problem there is you get into the gray area of this private security guy being considered law enforcement. And if anything, this guy could be maybe the real reason there was no charges ever really brought up to Vince, even though I believe he was fired from the WWE for that event, right? He was fired. So the board fired him. I believe so they felt like the conduct was not becoming the CEO of the WWE. But I think that the real problem we have here is we maybe have a security guard that was impersonating law enforcement, and that's a much bigger crime.
That's a felony.
Yeah, than alleged assault, where you said it felt like it was just a collar grab.
It was just a collar grab. He didn't strike him at all. He did not grapple with him. It was just a collar grab. It was a Texas how do you do. Sorry.
We have a dog that wants to be on the show too.
It's okay. Welcome, dog.
This is Bone. Okay, he decided to be on the show, and then now he doesn't want to. What's the matter? What's going on? Every once in a while, Moose decide to come and get him riled up, so I don't know what's happening. Are you okay? What is it? Seems he's fine. Okay. Yeah, so I just think that that's probably the real intriguing underlying issue of this whole thing, and why Vince did not get punished in the court of law. But I feel like him getting fired as the CEO, that's a pretty big punishment.
Right. But let's head out of the past and we'll power into the present. Cool, we're in the present, where everything is easier.
Yeah, I somehow don't know. It doesn't feel easier.
Right.
Go ahead, yes.
Right. So the topic at hand is AJ Styles and his balls of changing faces. So this happened on 3 separate accounts: at WrestleMania 34, with Shinsuke Nakamura on the November 18th, 2018 episode of SmackDown Live with Daniel Bryan. And recently on the February 28th, 2022 episode of Monday Night Raw with Edge. Whereas the person has hoofed AJ Styles right in the family jewels and has become a villain. What's up with that?
So AJ took it in the jewels?
Yes, on 3 separate occasions, and the 3 people of which hoofed him became villains.
Albeit while AJ was sort of a villain too, right? And he's
AJ was a face in all of these instances.
Okay, so AJ has converted back into a baby face, but he's taken it in the nuts from, and you say Shinsuke Nakamura, Daniel Bryan, now currently Angry Edge.
Yes.
Yeah. So the only thing I have is, does the rules of wrestling allow you to do low blows? And I thought that was an illegal move. Right? Isn't it kind of the lowest of low things that you could do in wrestling?
Yes.
So I think that probably just one, obviously it's assault by those people onto AJ, and maybe the crowd sees that and feels like, how dare you with our AJ Styles, Just in Time Wrestling, big AJ Styles fan. I'm sure he's angry right now about all those things. I just think that the fans don't like seeing their baby faces get beat up. It happens so much.
True. With AJ Styles, though, in particular. Because with Shinsuke Nakamura, this happened right after their WrestleMania match. Shinsuke went down to a knee to present AJ Styles with the WWE title. And then
Roshan put him.
And Daniel Bryan, in the middle of a WWE title match, when the referee was knocked down, a square shin right to the old family jewels.
AJ Styles isn't the biggest guy, right?
AJ Styles, I think he's like 6'1", 6'2". He's bigger than he's not.
Than he appears on TV.
Yeah, he's not Omos size.
No, right, but I just, it must feel like to the fans that he's being picked on because he's little, or how dare you give a shot to the phenomenal one. I think for me, maybe they're so angry that the guys who did the illegal moves didn't get in trouble with the law and charged with assault that, they're like, we have to rally. And now, he's our face. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I mean, that's a good point. Maybe AJ's really the bad guy. If all of these people are hoofing him, maybe it's him who is truly the villain. Because why would 3 baby faces feel the need to attack him?
Well, is Edge really a baby face right now?
I mean, not anymore, but he was.
You're saying that every time somebody touches AJ's balls, they turn into a heel.
Yes.
That could be a disease that we don't know.
Right? That could be a virus.
Yeah, could be like heelitis, something we don't know about. Like,
all right,
touch AJ Styles' testicles, turn into a monstrous heel. Could have happened. I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's one of those things that we may never know the answer to. It could be on Unsolved Mysteries for years. We have Robert Stack, like, back from the dead going, I don't know what happened, but AJ Styles' nuts seem to be causing heelitis. Yeah, you never know.
Heelitis. I mean, it's, first of all, it's trending worldwide. Heelitis.
Well, and I think it'll be up there with, like, aliens from another planet and stuff.
Right?
Yeah.
Once we figure this out, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, we could crack the case. I think.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I want to crack the case because if I have to get close to AJ Styles' balls, it might turn me into this monstrous heel. So,
right?
I don't know that I want to investigate. I think it's just one of those things that we're just gonna have to let live and let live on this one.
You're gonna say that this is gonna be the first ever unsolved case on Kayfabe.
No, I mean, I'm not saying we'll solve it, but that it's not solvable. But I'm saying maybe it might be too dangerous for us to go down that road.
That's true. That's super true. Maybe it's not healthy to.
Yeah, I mean, we gotta look out for ourselves, man. Like I survived going overseas a couple of years. Like I don't know if I can survive being a monster at heel. So
Right, but everybody attacks AJ Styles. Like it's not like they're heels to other people. It's just heels to AJ Styles.
I wonder what AJ Styles is doing to people behind the scenes that we're not seeing.
Exactly. Like
maybe there's more to this heelitis thing.
Like maybe it's not inviting him to like hang out after the show. Maybe it's getting a sandwich order wrong. Maybe
they're afraid they'll brush up against his balls and like touch him and heelitis.
Right?
You know,
maybe
some of these superstars work for years to be like the star, right? And don't you want to be the baby face, right?
Well, everybody. I mean, we have seen countless times though is that AJ Styles as a heel though, and he has not hoofed himself in the balls.
I know, but he may be immune to it because he's like the
patient zero,
super fucking spreader. Yeah. Patient zero. But also I think heelitis is curable, right? Because Shinsuke, seems to be coming around. Now I don't know. Probably there's a cure for it. It might just take years,
right?
And then it flakes off, or it's like Omicron and you get it real quick and then it's gone.
That's true.
Could be something like that.
That's true. So how long do you think it would last? Like maybe like 6 months, 9 months?
Well, all we can do is investigate what we have at hand, right? How long was Shinsuke? Because I wasn't around in the wrestling community when Shinsuke first started. So how long was he a heel after he Rochambeaued AJ?
That's a good question. He was a heel for about up until mid 2020.
So 2 years about 18 months. Wow. So it could be long form. I don't know. And then we'll have to see how long Edge is a heel. It's very interesting. I think it's going to be case by case basis. We're probably going to have to average out all the time somebody Rochambeaued AJ Styles and then how long they became a heel. Take those years, months, add them together, divide by the number of people, and then we'll get an average, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's how math works. I don't know. We're going to have to come up. I think we're going to have to investigate this further and see where we can go with it. This might be for another episode, I think.
That's true. This might be too small of a sample size.
Yeah, we may have to wait like 2 more years of WWE and AJ Styles, heelitis spreading.
Right.
Which could be potentially dangerous because like the entire world could become heels or something. So
exactly. And we don't want that.
No, I mean
no. So let's get out of this heelitis because I don't even want to be talking about it because what if we become heels?
It does feel very Illuminati, like we're putting our lives on the line talking about it. We got to climb out of this well like right away. Huh?
Yeah. So let's head over to the future.
All right, let's do it.
Awesome. Hey, everybody, welcome to the future, everybody.
Oh, yay! Let's do Scooby-Doo.
Yeah. So for the past 570 plus days, Roman Reigns has had a stranglehold over the Universal Championship. He has beaten the likes of Cesaro, Jey Uso, Daniel Bryan, Edge, Finn Balor,
the Demon,
and many others to stake his claim as the tribal chief. Who is going to finally vanquish Roman Reigns as Universal Champion?
Well, Brock Lesnar almost did. He almost took his head off with that forklift, didn't he? I mean, that was pretty cool. So I believe it can be the Beast Incarnate. I think it can be Brock Lesnar. I think it has to be Brock Lesnar, right? because we have to consider who is wrestling currently right now, right? We can't say Stone Cold, we can't say The Rock, we can't say John Cena because they're not currently wrestling. I think it has to be Brock Lesnar. If it's not Brock Lesnar, we're going to suffer Roman Reigns for 2 more years and be under this totalitarian bloodline thing that's like very Putin-esque, I think. I don't know. I maybe I'm on my own on this one, but I don't think the WWE can survive the repressive regime of the bloodline anymore. It sure doesn't look like he is willing to fight Brock Lesnar. You know, he ran away at Raw or SmackDown. I'm sorry, SmackDown. I just spared you by comparing it to Raw. But he ran away like a scared. So I don't understand. Is he protecting just being the champion for a number of years? It has to be someone odd par with him, everybody says, right? Well, to me, there's only one wrestler on the roster right now that's on par with him, and that's the Beast incarnate, Brock Lesnar. And I just have to make a case for him because it's what I want to see. I don't know about you, but I would love to see Brock Lesnar with his cowboy hat and his ponytail and his shit-kicking cowboy boots go in and stomp a mud hole in Roman Reigns' ass and walk it dry, like Stone Cold would say back in the day.
Yeah, but Roman has already beaten Brock Lesnar recently, too.
Yeah, at Madison Square Garden. Was it fair? Was it a good
at
I think if it,
Crown Jewel.
Let's just say that, yeah, that's true. That's true. Crown Jewel. Yeah, I got you. Did the Usos interfere? I'm trying to remember.
I believe that was a Paul Heyman interference.
Okay, so he's always gotten help, right? So who really needs help to beat Brock? I'm just wondering if Roman Reigns isn't a paper dragon. He always needs help from the Usos or, Paul Heyman to come and intervene and make.
Or God.
Or God against the demon, which, I'm still irritated about. I thought God had agreed to stay out of wrestling, and
well, God hates demons. So
does he though? Does he? Do we know this? I think this is all speculation.
Hey, this isn't conjecture. Okay, I got this from reliable sources.
Okay.
God hates demons.
Oh, God, you got God on the record saying he hates demons. Okay.
No, I have a source that's
you got a source with God close to him. Yeah, I don't know, man. This is like conspiracy series stuff to me. I'm not sure, because I would love to see the demon back against Roman Reigns. How cool would that be if he shows up at WrestleMania and helps Brock Lesnar win the title? Ooh. The Beast incarnate does a deal with a demon. I would love it. I think the demon though is on vacation, and who the demon works through, Finn Balor, I think he's busy during WrestleMania, so we probably won't get to see something that cool.
It could be.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. But I do think that Brock Lesnar is the guy that can beat him, and I feel like there's just been some circumstances. Roman, after what he did to him at MSG, starting to see like a very much motivated Brock Lesnar to scare and intimidate. So we'll see. Who do you think? Who do you think, sir?
Well, I think that there's always a chance that Bobby Lashley.
Oh, yes, that's a good one. We're forgetting about him because he's been injured, right?
Yeah, but Bobby Lashley for sure could. I mean, in the Fatal 5-Way at day one, he was the only one who could stand up to Brock Lesnar physically.
Yeah, he's very impressive, and I actually was really excited about that match. But we got him. Didn't he get injured before he got out of the thing?
No, we got the match at the Royal Rumble that Bobby Lashley won.
Thank you for refreshing my memory. I'm losing a lot of this. As the older you get, the thing. Yes, there was some controversy to that match, I believe.
Well, there was Roman Reigns interference on that one.
Right. Because he didn't want to face Brock Lesnar. And then he entered the Rumble. That's right, and then won the Rumble. Blah blah blah. So he could face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. Yeah, how could I forget all that? It's because I forgot Bobby Lashley. I thought Big E too, man. But with the neck injury, we're probably not going to.
Yeah, hearts out to Big E. Hopefully.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully he's okay. That was
Rich Holland should be suspended too. I think that we could talk about him.
I think Rich Holland's got a lot on his mind right now.
I think he. Personally, my opinion, he did it on purpose.
Wow.
Yeah, and he should go to jail. So, and he's also a foreigner in our country, making our money. And send his carpetbagging ass back to wherever the hell he's from.
I think he's from England.
Yeah. I think it has to be Brock, though, man. I think it's Brock. Bobby Lashley coming back would be a surprise, though.
Yeah, that would be nice. I mean, MMA athlete, former Army man himself, former Army wrestling champion. I mean. He's a beast. I'm pretty sure he's like 15-1 or 15-2 in MMA.
I thought he did not ever lose in MMA.
No, I'm pretty sure he's lost like 1 or 2.
Oh, I thought. Well, let's look up his MMA record before you get out because I don't remember him losing. Bobby Lashley's MMA career. What a nice guy Bobby Lashley seems, right?
Right.
Yeah.
He's got that $1 million smile.
Yeah, he's not a convincing heel to me. So, Sherdog has his fights, I think. So, Bobby Lashley, you are correct. He has a couple of losses. He's 15-2. His losses are to James Thompson and Chad Griggs. And he lost them, one in the Super Fight League and one in Strikeforce. But his last loss was 2012.
Right.
Yeah, so he hadn't lost in a long time. His last fight was Bellator in 2016, and he beat the guy by rear naked choke. So he probably retired as a champion and just was like, I'm going to go back and dominate this sport. Also, I'll tell you, like, it says he's 6'2", 241. So depending on the MMA card, like UFC, if you're above 205, you're heavyweight, but you can't weigh more than 275. So that's basically like a 70-pound, and that was Brock. Like Brock has to cut weight to get below 275 to fight. If you did not know that, Brock walks around at like 270.
I did know that. It's actually 265 in the UFC. In Bellator, it might be 275, but in the UFC, it is 265.
Oh, is it 265? Okay, 265. I was gonna say Brock walks around about 275.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And there are some that said they should do a super heavyweight and that Brock would have dominated that forever because, Bob Sapp was, I think, in that. I don't know if you remember Bob Sapp was like a former football player. It looked scary, big dude that fought. He fought in Japan and Pride a lot. Yeah. So
Pride with the wrestling ring itself.
Yes. Yeah. They had the squared circle. Yep. They used that as their one could argue it was a boxing ring too. But yeah.
Right. Well, because of my background, I think of it more as a wrestling ring.
Muay Thai does the same. They use the wrestling / boxing ring and stuff.
That style of ring anyways.
Yep. With the ropes and stuff. Absolutely. Yeah. I do think it has to be Brock though, Micah. He just feels like the only convincing one on the roster right now. Bobby Lashley, yes, but we don't know the health of Bobby Lashley. Is he going to be back?
That's true.
Is Roman's reign going to carry through WrestleMania? Probably. But
I would say yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. That dastardly heel.
Yeah, I'm ready for him to be dethroned. I'm ready for the blood. I would like to see the bloodline kind of have to work for it for a change. So, and climb back out of the doldrums and then, I don't know, maybe make him a good guy or something again. I don't know. So
I don't know. Well, SportsBeard, thank you so much for being with me.
No problem, man. Thanks
such
for having
a pleasure. Plug any shows that you want to do.
Yeah, so I don't have my own show off the ground, but I'll plug Wrestling on the Rocks Wednesdays and Thursdays with Ref Marsh, resident know-it-all. And I'm on the Wednesday show, sometimes with Kev, sometimes with Justin Time, sometimes with Bishop. And I got to plug my guy, Hot Take Hockey. If you're into hockey, my friend John Bavaros, Hot Take Hockey. And I'm a contributor to that show almost every time he streams. So, and then if you're a fan of football and coaching, Coach Jason Brown's show, great show. So, and you can sometimes see me on that show because I'm on that show in the flesh. So,
Wow.
yeah. And he's got, I don't know, he's from Last Chance U. A lot of people knew it from Netflix. So, anyway.
Cool.
California coach, and that's been recent. But like I'm just a caller and contributor, I don't go on there as the SportsBeard. I go on the guy who the SportsBeard actually is. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, no, thank you, man. I really appreciate you having me on anytime. I hope I was helpful and we made some hay
Yeah,
in
man.
the way, but I don't know.
Gonna
Maybe
send this to the law firm. We'll write up some depositions.
Yep, we got to call Stutzy and Stutzy or whatever, whoever we're using. So
we use Brian H. Buster out of Texas.
okay, all right, that sounds good.
That's we have him on retainer.
No, good. I mean, I'm just glad that we have somebody out there flapping in the breeze.
Yeah, man. All right, so everybody, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.